Back in CSGO, I made a lot of tutorials about like nades and stuff like that. And what a better tutorial to talk about than probably the most fun gun in the game, the AWP. I'm not a pro or anything, but I can whip the point and click weapon around pretty well. I'm just gonna go over sort of the few chapters of what's going on in this video. And speaking of chapters, this video will be chaptered down below so you can kind of scroll through and see what I'm talking about and maybe skip to what you care about. And then also this video, because you know how YouTube works and I have to cater to an algorithm, I'm going to just be covering a little bit of Mirage, everyone's favorite AWPing map. I'm sure if you've ever played this game competitively, you probably bought an AWP CT side. If you're really new, please understand that on CT side you don't need that armor. And then obviously buy what you can, even a pistol. Pistols are important with an AWP in your hand. And if you saw right there, I had the mid spawn. Usually when you're AWPing, you kind of just want to know what you're doing before you do it. So right here, I had probably, I would say like one of the best mid spawns. If I wanted to go for this mid pick, which is something everyone does, this is probably the most common way to peek that. Your job as a CT opper is to just get early kills, and obviously you have the best gun in the game, so you need to be good with it and you need to be communicating. So if you have a bad spawn, you're turning more into like a support player for the riflers, because spawns really do matter, especially the better you get at this game, the higher elo you are. If you get a bad spawn, you can just back up into this corner, aim right here, and then you're gonna shift, walk, jump throw, known as the Ahrora smoke or the deep top mid smoke. You can throw this smoke and kind of just tell your teammates all to fight mid, and then you can either go into window late, or probably my preferred position if you're doing this kind of a support play, which is just one of the many plays you can do. Just kind of op and ticket. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you can op triple here. If you're throwing that mid smoke and you want to throw flashes for them and go window late, this is probably the easiest flash you can throw. And it's high enough out of connector where it's off to your left up there. All right, so that's some of the basic stuff out of the way. I want to show you guys some cool plays you can do with the front spawn if you don't want to just go for the most standard window peek because they're smoking window every round. It's probably one of my personal favorite plays. Let's say you get this front spawn. You're going to go, probably break that. Just keep running all the way here through B. And then you want to get good at doing this jump pretty fast. And then scope in the air. And right now you're at this position. Odds are, if you have that front spawn, you're not getting flashed from any of these flashes. But I'm telling you, the second you land, there could be a person right here. So you better be ready to hit a shot if they are B rush. But 9 times out of 10, when you do this, no one's going to be here. And you can just slowly creep your way into this angle. And this is probably the strongest and most underutilized angles in CS2 and Mirage in general with an op. In double scope, for the little crack angle back here, it's kind of past this pole. This is a good angle to hold. Or if you're feeling spicy, you can kind of stand pretty wide, get that first shot, cross to the right. This is more if you're expecting the rush. Hit another one here. And this is AWPing. You're taking shots and falling back to safe spots. And you'll see right now, I'm just going through like damn near all the places you can fall back to. Pausing this video real quick to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by Gigabyte Ahrora and their new M27QX monitor. They just recently sent me these. It's their brand new monitor and I finally got to try it out. So going from a 1920 to 25 by 60 by 1440, like full HD, is a crazy upgrade just off the bat. Obviously, this is a 27-inch monitor. So going from a 24-inch monitor to a 27-inch, everything just seems bigger. The pixel clarity is insane, especially when I'm playing Counter-Strike. And you'll see just how much more space is on the screen. Right here is the default 1920 setup for the Vegas timeline. And you can see on the edges, there's just so much more room. And with Gigabyte making a monitor for Counter-Strike 2, as you'd expect, it's 240 hertz IPS. So you're gonna have some of the best picture quality. And one of the coolest things, if you use two PCs like me, there's a KVM switch built in, so you can easily switch between two PCs. And for me, I use that feature all the time. So if you guys are interested in a new monitor, I know the holidays is coming up, and obviously one of the best upgrades you can make to your gaming setup is a new monitor. But yeah, I'm excited to play CS2 on this monitor. I've played a few days now. As of recording this, it's great. I mean, I didn't even know I needed this upgrade, but I'm glad Gigabyte sent me these monitors. So if you're interested in some new monitors, I've always personally used a lot of Gigabyte products, and it's awesome that I get to partner up with Ahrora and Gigabyte to promote this monitor. Thank you again to them for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for watching, and let's hop right back into it. One really fun front spawn play you can go for with the op right here. You're gonna jump here. You're gonna break this. This is important that you break that. Gotta kind of have good movement for this. So let's say someone through top mid. You're gonna have a really good timing for people that are odds are jumping through this smoke into valley or crossing from boxes to delpan, because those are just the most common routes they're gonna take. I'm sure I could sit here all day talking about plays, but I'm gonna switch on over to the T side to talk more about just the theory of AWPing, and it also translate over to the CT as well. Except for CT, we all know you just gotta frag out. They're coming to you. Before I go and sit here and talk about plays on T side and all that, I'm gonna talk about angle holding and movement, and we're gonna swap on over to that right now. All right, so I'm gonna talk about movement right now. We all know how Counter-Strike movement works when it comes to counter-strafing, and we all know how op works, point and click. But I'm gonna talk about just like certain peaks you can go for, and just, you know, movement in general with this gun, because, you know, it is the point and click gun, and you do move a little differently. So if you see right now, I'm kind of counter-strafing and peeking at the same time. This is just like a slower version of what you're doing with an AK. You want to get kind of just comfortable being able to walk while scoped in with the op. You can mix in a crouch every now and then. It's just a feeling thing, you know. This is something you'll get better at over time. Being able to just walk while scoped in is a huge thing. And then being able to kind of like pre-aim and go for a quick scope, bait out a shot, something like that. You can do a lot with this gun, you know? And the thing with the op that you really want to think about, it's infinitely easier to hit shots when you know where they are. So movement, find out info is a lot better than you'd think, especially with an op. That's when you can bring out like your jiggle peaks. You can even, if you know there's only one guy, you can try to go for something really crazy. Once you know where he is, you can just hit him with like a wide peek and just take your time to go for the shot. That's kind of risky because you could get one tap, but that is a possibility. Be sure you can use your utility as well to peek. Just try to be as shifty as possible with this gun. You want to be on off angles at most times. It's not like a rifle. Don't stand still. Keep moving around. Reposition. Positioning is the most important thing with the op. There isn't much more like when it comes to like gunfights other than being in a good position. I guess what makes a good opper is being able to hit shots even when they're in a bad position. So if you're new, work on the basics first. All right, now when it comes to crosshair placement, it's basically the same as rifling, but you're aiming chest level. I'm showing a few clips on screen right now. You kind of want to predict where they're going to be. Not every shot with the op needs to be a flick, and if your opper is flicking all the time, he's probably not good. If you want to be better at opping, watching players that are way better than you with the op is just going to help a ton. A lot of opping is comfort, and if you're holding weird angles and stuff you're not comfortable holding, you're going to miss a lot more shots. And the op only has 5 shots now, so you kind of got to make every single one count. All of this ties into the same thing. Positioning, crosshair placement, everything ties into opping. All right, and that's basically the video. I'm going to wrap it up by showing you guys a couple little T-side plays. I'll show one at B, one at A, and one at mid. I guess we'll just start at B since we're over here. This is one of the most, I don't know how to explain it. It feels like it's buffed in this game going for this pick. If you have a good spawn or just even a decent spawn, you can go for the pick on the guy jump spotting van so much easier now. And especially if he goes for a horrible jump spot, that shot right here feels infinitely easier. Another thing to notice whenever going for this pick now from CSGO is the scope of the op is quieter. That's another thing to take into account whenever you're opping T-side. So if there's a bunch of noise going on around you, you can scope, and there's a good chance they won't hear you. If you kill this guy jump spotting, you almost 9 times out of 10 know he's going to be cat. And if you have a teammate with you, you can either just go and take the fight with him, or you can just try to flash your teammate out. More than likely, have B site for free. I'm going to teach you some tech.
Where's the tech?
Okay. Do you see this line, or is it just on my res?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So if you notice, come back and just scoped in with an op. That line lines basically perfectly with the pre-fire to the op. Yeah, use that line, and try to like be double scoped, like counter strafe people, like but walking forward. You know, you're like always ADing.
Wait, can you hold the angle?
I'm holding it. Yeah, like you see how fast that is?
That's nasty. Oh my god.
All right, for A, I got a fun one for Palace. This is really good if you know the opper is always opping window, which 9 times out of 10 they are. Hopefully you have a Palace spawn. Pray while you're running in the Palace. You're gonna run the entire way, throw the molly. As soon as it lands, scope in. Hopefully he doesn't have an SMG close or a rifle close that instantly pushes you, because good luck. But whenever that molly lands, it should block the sound of you scoping in. And since you're going for that play so fast, you'll be able to pick the window guy. I really like opping out of Palace in general. I think it's just a really strong spot to op from. All right, so let's say you kill that window op. One of the things you can do is your teammates are coming out ramp. You can just throw flashes underneath as if they were mollies. These flashes will essentially blind anyone on this side of the site, ticket booth in general as well, or even top ticket. And one of the nice things about CS2 and how the smokes work, you can just throw smokes like this and they'll kind of bleed over the balcony and go down. So if there's ever a scenario where you need to get out of Palace and help your teammates, don't be a baiter and sit in there the whole round, you can throw this smoke, have just so many insane angles to peek. And then if you get all the way out and you don't see anyone, you're You got full cover going down here. But that's the video. I'm sorry I couldn't go into too many, any other maps because, you know, this is the YouTube algorithm and you got to cater to that. But if you guys want to see some more content related to tutorials, let me know what. And if you guys want to see more AWPing related stuff, I'm going to probably post maybe a part 2 to this where I just talk about like plays and stuff on other maps, just go over a bunch of maps in one video on my second channel. That'll be linked down in the description, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, let me know what you want to see in the future and I'll see you in the next one. Shout out to Ahrora for sponsoring today's video. Go check out their new M27QX monitor. It's a great monitor. I'm using it as my main monitor now. And I know the holidays are up around the corner, so if you're interested in this, links will be down in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.